I'm about to define what an assault rifle is. I'm not going to use anything on Wikipedia. I'm not going to use any resource. I'm just going to use my brain. And hopefully, that's the only thing I'll need for this conversation to advance forward. An assault rifle is any rifle that was initially designed to be used as a midline engagement weapon in combat. Okay? So, for midline engagements, you would want a weapon that is stronger than a machine gun, weaker than your battle rifle. Battle rifles tended to be semi-automatic. The gun in the middle there is called an assault rifle. An assault rifle is a midline, non-full rifled cartridge. It is bigger than a pistol cartridge that is used for submachine guns. Smaller than what you would use for a battle rifle. Now, keep that in mind. I did say you need to be able to select. Now, if you can't select, great. You just made a crappier version of a designated marksman rifle. Congrats to you. That's essentially what an AR-15 is. It is a shitty designated marksman rifle that is designed for mid engagements. So mid yards is where the AR-15 shines at. You would not be able to hit a light at a half a mile away with the AR-15. You could try, but it's not going to be done. For that, use a Mini 14, which is a miniaturized version of a battle rifle. Or you would need a good old-fashioned bolt-action rifle to hit at those things, okay? But as soon as you can design a stock, like I'm going to make a hypothetical stock that can get around the legislation in the United States. I'm going to call it the bolt stock. What you do is it's going to be designed like a bump stock, except you will use a bolt system in place. Essentially, every time you fire the gun in the burst mode, for example, it will be able to turn this bolt until it catches. So it catch. And you can then make a burst system. You can go further, have the bolt moved up in such a way that it no longer spins. You got a full autumn system. You can then lock this butt stock in such a way that now you have a semi-automatic. That would fulfill the role as an assault rifle. It has nothing to do with the receiver. It has to do with the capability of the weapon. And as soon as gun control advocates and people that will advocate freedom get on board with that, that would be awesome. I don't believe that guns like this should be inherently regulated. But at the same time, I believe in some form of gun regulation. I don't believe that mentally ill people should be able to own a gun. Unfortunately, it is so easy to get around the controls for this that a lot of schizophrenics do own weapons. A lot of people with bipolar do own weapons. They are more of a danger to themselves, that suicide rates for people with mental illness, than they are to others. But when we do get a person that is absolutely off his rocker, gone insane, and has a weapon, crazy shit happens. I don't want a person with schizophrenia to have a weapon whatsoever. I wouldn't even want someone with that to have knives. But I will point out that they still have the right to defend themselves, but I don't want them to have any weapon that can kill somebody. Non-lethals, great. Knives, great. Bows and arrows, awesome. They can go hunting with the bows and arrows, but a gun can do things that a bow and weapon and a knife can't. And as soon as you accept that that is true, that it'd be a lot harder for a person to kill 50-something people or harm 300 people with a knife or a bow and arrow, or sit down and have the makeshift way to make a bomb, which if you're mentally ill, that's not going to be possible. But no, 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 no. People that are absolutely starch Second Amendment admins do not want a registry. They don't want anything like that. But the truth is that you need to find the possible insane middle ground. I believe if you're a law-abiding citizen, you don't have anything mentally wrong with you, you can own whatever weapon you want. But as soon as you can, you present yourself as dangerous to that right, because with every right comes a responsibility, and that is a community responsibility, not an individual responsibility. We have things limiting freedom of speech. We have rights things. I believe that as long as we have due process involved, your Second Amendment right can be stripped. And I believe that as soon as we can define who doesn't need that right, like people with schizophrenia or people with severe mental illness or people with dementia, because there was a guy in my hometown that killed another person, didn't even remember it because he was a World War II vet and he had dementia and he had a PTSD episode and he ended up killing all his neighbors. People was like, well, who was his neighbors? It was a guy and his family. Wiped off the map. Why did this guy have a fucking weapon to begin with? Yeah. So yes, I believe that as long as you're mentally sound, you can own whatever the fuck you want. But until people that advocate gun control and people that advocate you can own whatever you want reaches definitional consensus of what a weapon is, and I believe a weapon is defined by usage and not by what it's in the receiver, then this conversation can't really go forward.